Yeah, another Dolce & Gabbana, the one. It is no longer the one fragrance to have anymore because we've got about, 7 or 8 of them, counting all the limited editions and discontinued ones and everything. There might even be more than that now. But hey, it's pretty cool. Some of the flankers are pretty good. Dolce & Gabbana, the one EDP is killer. Royal Night is really good. And we have the newest, the one Eau de Parfum Intense Gold. So, Dolce & Gabbana, the one Eau de Parfum Intense Gold. It's a pretty big name. So initially when I saw this one, my mind automatically goes to, it almost is a flanker of a flanker. And I say that because we have Dolce & Gabbana, the one Eau de Parfum Intense, just this one right here. And this one here, if you've smelled it, you'll know that it smells, well, nothing like the original. It uses woods heavily, cashmere, Isoi Super, that sort of thing kind of going on in here. That's kind of the direction that this one goes. Personally, it's one that has taken a while for me to come around to because it gives me similar vibes to Dior Homme 2020 due to the heavy modern woods that they use in here. And while it's still not my favorite, I've come to accept it a little bit more. So essentially this one follows the same name, the same format, except they add gold at the end of it. And then the bottle appears to be all gold. So we'll see if it compares to this. We'll see if it compares to any of the others. Pointed at the wall, see if it compares to this, see if it compares to any of the others in the line, and I'll let you know if I think it's going to be worth picking up, if it's any good or if it sucks. Given the nature of this bottle, I know that this is going to have a hard time with the most important test of this video, which is the fingerprint smudge test. So I have not touched it yet. Even the cap is going to be having an issue. But here it is. I'm trying not to touch the bottle. Now that, actually there's already a smudge on it, isn't there? That is pretty neat looking. Let's take a moment, because it's not going to look like this ever again. And no, I'm not going to try to keep it looking pristine either, as you'll see in a minute. But it looks very nice. That could have been for me, but it looks like there's a smudge on it already. Yeah, that's brutal, okay? I mean, this will really show them, especially in harsh lighting like this. Yeah, that's terrible. It's going to get a pretty solid T for the smudge test. A T rating, that means terrible. Okay, so we're going completely off the scale here. Other than that, the bottle is pretty standard. It's got the same shape and everything. Cap is the same. You have For Men Gold Eau de Parfum Intense on the bottom. So this is Dolce & Gabbana For Men, the one Eau de Parfum Intense Gold. Pretty similar really to this. Almost it's like what they did was just swapped the colors, because the one Eau de Parfum Intense has gold up there on the collar, gold lettering, black, and then this has all gold bottle and then black lettering. So we'll see how this holds up. Let's get it on skin and see. Atomizer is pretty standard, and we'll see what we have. So it opens up fresh and aromatic, surprisingly. Has almost like a cypress, clean, fresh, almost out of the shower type of smell. Not necessarily in a blue type of way, blue ambroxan, but just as like a well put together, clean type of smell. Almost like you were to shower with a higher end smelling soap. That's kind of what I'm pulling here off the opening. So right off the bat, it's not smelling really hardly anything like the one Eau de Parfum Intense, and it's smelling nothing like the one EDT or EDP or Gentleman as it sits right now. None of those either. Yeah, this is kind of off somewhere over here. It's like you have all the other Dolce & Gabbana fragrances hanging out in the club over here, and then as it sits right now, this one's just kind of doing its own thing. Now, one thing I notice is that there's nothing that is eye-catching, or, attention grabbing, I guess I should say, about this one. The bottle's very eye-catching, but when it comes to the scent profile, there's not a whole lot that's going to hook you. It's not going to captivate you, right? There's just no wow factor in the opening. And I found for me, that's one of the things that I look for and that I almost really kind of need in a fragrance that I enjoy a lot. Because if I were to go through and look at some of my favorite scents, right? Most all of them are going to have a really, really good opening, like a kicking strong, in your face, attention grabbing opening, and this one does not. I'm going to go ahead and read off the note breakdown. Up top we have bergamot, blood orange, ginger. In the mid we have clary sage, geranium, cardamom. In the base we have patchouli, vetiver, and amberwood. So you get some of that base coming through. It's going to be the clary sage. I kind of thought of cypress, but I guess it's not. As it sits, I'm picking up on some of the vetiver. Not a whole lot of the patchouli as it sits right now, but definitely geranium. And I'm surprised I didn't say that in the beginning, because now I can for sure smell it. But it does give off this kind of green, fresh, minty geranium. And one thing I was thinking in the beginning that I didn't want to say, but now I'll go ahead and say it, is it almost has aromatic fougere vibes, tendencies, facets, because it has a bit of a green, aromatic, clean type of smell to it. It kind of goes that way a little bit due to that geranium, even the clary sage coming through, and of course that vetiver. A lot of times the vetiver will be used in scents like that as well, and I'm kind of getting that from here. Up top you do get some of that citrus, but it's not overbearingly strong. Again, if the bergamot was tart and punchy and bright, or if the blood orange was tart, punchy, and bright, that would help the opening of this one and just make it a bit more strong, but it's really not. As soon as you spray it on, it's smooth. And at the end of the day, I guess I can't complain too much about a fragrance being smooth, because that is better than it being a rough synthetic mess. But as I mentioned, there's just nothing about this that really hypes me up or gets me excited when I spray it. And even as it sits right now, it's starting to settle down. You're getting some more of the aromatics. You're getting some more of the woods. It smells nice, but it's nothing crazy. And for me, I almost feel that the whole scent doesn't really match this loud, boisterous bottle. Because when you see something like this, at least for me, I'll tell you what I was thinking. I was thinking something on the warmer and sweeter side of things, more of a fall and wintertime scent. Really kind of like the original, I suppose, and some of the limited edition flankers or whatever. But something with even more richness, almost maybe an oud, even though there are some of the limited edition ones that have oud. But maybe, boozy notes, a rum in here mixing with that tobacco like the original has or something, or something along those lines, kind of taking that original DNA and then just stuffing some more heavier notes into it. That's kind of what I was expecting when you look at the bottle like this, because it's got a nice rich gold color. I wasn't expecting something on the more fresh and aromatic side. It almost has a little bit of a throwback to the one gray, because the one gray has a grapefruit up top. It's got a ton of vetiver, and this one here, the vetiver's coming through stronger. And I find overall the one gray is just a stripped back version of the one, making it more daytime appropriate. That one still does tie back to the original slightly, whereas this one doesn't. It's almost like they're cutting out all of the Dolce & Gabbana, the one DNA, the original, and then just tying in a little bit of the one gray just from that vetiver overload here. Not too much of the cardamom either, cardamom or the ginger, because again, it's not that spicy up top. You would expect it to be, but it's not. Again, if they could have taken this bottle, taken this idea, and brought back the original DNA, the tobacco, the amber, that sort of thing, kept the cardamom in, thrown in some rum or whiskey or something along those lines, maybe some tonka bean, maybe some myrrh, some vanilla, some more resins, I don't know, something like that, just made a really heavy, rich scent. I think that would fit this bottle much more, and I think people would maybe like that more. I don't know, maybe it's just me, because I feel like I say that about every fragrance, but I don't really necessarily want a fresher aromatic version, I don't really need that. What I would like is something richer to kind of tie back to how Dolce & Gabbana, the one, once was. So yeah, that's kind of where I stand on it right now. Doesn't really compare to too much of anything, except maybe a little bit of the one gray because of all that vetiver and aromatic woods in here, but it doesn't smell like the one Eau de Parfum Intense. It doesn't smell like the original or anything else. What I can say is, from opening to where it sits right now, quality is great. It's what you would expect from a Dolce & Gabbana. Performance will have to be tested further. Given the concentration, I would expect it to do well, but you never really know. My final thoughts, is this one going to be one worth picking up? Maybe. If you're into it, go for it. I know for me, when I reach for a Dolce & Gabbana, the one scent, I want a heavier, richer scent. And so I'm usually going to be going for the Eau de Parfum or Royal Night. Even Luminous Night. That one's really good. It is really hard to find, but again, very good. That one, those three there are kind of my go-tos. They're all really good because they all share something in common. They're all on the sweeter side, and they're all really good scents. If I want something that's a bit more fresh and aromatic, I got things that are better outside of the Dolce & Gabbana, the one line that I would go for. That's just my take on it. Everyone else is going to have their own preference. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. That's my first impressions on Dolce & Gabbana, the one for men Eau de Parfum Intense Gold. Again, if you have tried this one, let me know what you think of it down below. If you haven't tried it yet, are you going to? Are you excited? Are you not? I was pretty excited. Again, I didn't look at the note breakdown going into this. I was expecting something heavier. Obviously, we did not get that, so make sure you're aware of that as well. Do your research around this one, watch some more reviews as they come out, and make the decision for yourself. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.